Next up, we're going to talk with Douglass McDonald, who is the CEO of the Alamo Trust, and he brings a specific vision to the future of what's going to happen at the Alamo, right?
He does, and he's trying to use this ceremony, the Dawn at the Alamo ceremony, as an example of where he wants to take this vision. He sees this, what we experience, as a foundation of what you can expect to see in the future for interpretation at the Alamo.
Alamo Trust is really committed to telling the total story of the Texas Revolution, of all the people who've lived and died and been buried and been a part of the Alamo. And we find that this March 6th date is really our most important day for telling that story and that celebration. So in the future, where today we have traffic that bisects the property and we hear traffic interruptions, we want that traffic to go away. We want to create a reverent space. We want to create a space where people, when they come, they think of the Alamo, and they do not have to think of the Alamo and understand these stories with the distractions they have today. I envision a site where when you stand in the Trevino home, you stand where Travis stood, and you look across the battlefield. And when you look across the battlefield, you see what Travis saw. You see a long barrack. You see a long barrack that is 2 stories tall, and you see the church of the Alamo. And you understand that when Travis said those words, to my fellow Texans and to Americans from all the world, you understand what he was asking for and why liberty was so precious and prized for all Texans and all of us who enjoy it today. Dawn on March 6th is my favorite event. We had over 1,000 people this morning started assembling at 5 a.m. And at 6 a.m. a program started where people remembered and reflected and understood the full experience of what those men were fighting and dealing with on those walls and in the church and in those buildings on March 6th of 1836. And by the time this program was over, we realized that the Alamo had fallen, that these men's lives were perished. And we knew that then you have a full understanding of how important it was that they stood for liberty, they stood on that day, and this is the day that we honor them in its fullest.
Well, Douglass has his hands full. He's got a lot on his plate, and it seems like he's got a lot of negotiating to do in there.
Yeah, Chris, there's no question how political this whole position is for him and for the Alamo Trust. However, he's making huge steps, I think, in the right direction with the future interpretation, the new museum, and the way we're going to see the plaza in the very near future. This will be a huge shift for San Antonio, Texas, but it's about time it showed up.